welcome to our channel. And today we are talking about what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so today we said we would look at why many African Christians are unproductive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ever wondered why, many Africans are unproductive? You
Mhm.
know, some people just think it's normal. It's not normal. And today we'll be sharing some of the reasons why many African Christians are unproductive.
Do they
Um,
agree that they're unproductive?
I,
Or
I tell many of our my religious um, Christians from Africa, there are some very productive ones, no doubt about that. But in terms of percentage, there's a greater proportion. The majority of the proportion are unproductive,
yeah.
and but they don't even know about it. They I tell them that we are the bottom of the food chain. You know, we are the bottom of the food chain, and why can't we rise above? You know, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, today we'll be talking about some of the reasons. So,
Okay.
do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'll just call out the first points that we'll be looking at today. The issue of time, our attitude
Yes.
towards time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, um, to give context to this time is
Mm-hmm.
from
African
the day
time.
we
Do we look at
realize,
it from the
not necessarily,
African time?
not necessarily from an African time
But
perspective.
that too
Yeah,
is
that's
an
that's
issue.
yeah, that's a part of it.
Yeah,
But the day our lives change, the day we realize that the greatest, you know, um, currency we have in life is
it's
time.
time.
The greatest currency we have in life is time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can lose money and you can make it back, but when you lose time, you're not getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
So your greatest currency is time. And you convert time to create your value, right?
Okay.
It is time that you put in to create things. It is time you commit to learn new knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
learn new skills, and all that. So all that is time. So people who have mastered the art of valuing their time and learning how to convert their time, you know, to valuable things are the people who will be successful in life
And are more
and
productive.
are more productive. Yeah. And so while on the other hand, people who don't value their time,
Mm-hmm.
who waste their time,
Yeah,
who spend their time in things that will not generate value in future,
things that don't matter.
yeah, will be the people at the bottom.
So, what are some of
Yeah.
these time wasting activities that people don't know about? And remember that we're looking at um, religion, right?
Yes.
We're looking at how most Christian, most religious people are unproductive. So, some of the activities of religious folks is that it's required of them to attend meetings on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. Yeah, in
Yeah.
addition to the time they even give to work.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
go to work. Let's say you're a working class person. You work from Mondays to Thursdays, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Sometimes Saturdays, depends on the nature of your work. And in addition to that, you're also required by your priests and
Your pastor,
bishops, pastors
yeah.
to be in church almost on a daily basis. I remember when I used to attend Christ Embassy, then when I was with Diamond Bank, I struggled with attending some of those
Some of
meetings,
those, yeah.
and you won't believe it. It was required of me to be in church almost on a daily basis, and there is some activity or the other that I had to, be part of on a daily basis. Now I'm talking about 7 days a week. It was structured in such a way that there is always something bringing you into one meeting or the other, is either in the cell group or in the church itself. So you can imagine when you have to juggle between doing your work, your office work, and also attending those meetings 7 days a week, how
Yeah.
much of your life is left? Because it's good for us to begin to look at this thing, time versus your life, because it's actually your life that is going away.
Yeah.
You've given all that hours to work. Then you also give all those hours to the meetings in church. And you know what happened then? Some of those meetings I couldn't meet up with because of the nature of my job. I was being made to feel that
Yeah.
I was, doing
Not
something
serving
wrong.
God,
Yes, I was paying more attention. I remember one of the leaders, um, my cell leaders then will call me for a meeting and say to me, don't worry, by the time they sack you in this job, because you're giving so much time to it, that's where you know what you're doing.
Can imagine.
So,
Can imagine
yeah.
that. Yeah, so that's the height of it, really. When we spend time in things that will not add value to us. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
And it's not like those
yeah,
meetings were paying me anything, no.
yeah,
At least I can say that at the end of the month, my job will credit my account with some
yes,
fat, good salary
yeah,
that I mean, it will compensate for my time. But the time that I was giving to church, which they would say you're giving to God,
yeah.
earned
Of
nothing
course,
for me.
yeah, of
Rather,
course.
it took from me.
They use the the God thing, to always the God card always, that
Yeah.
you're doing it to God.
Yes.
Some people were there and they are the man of God or their geo died, and of course they didn't make them the next geo. They had to import his son from all the way from
Let's
outside the
even leave
country,
that story.
So to take over the
Let's
whole
even
thing.
leave that story.
Yeah,
So
we're,
what
we're
we're
not talking about
discussing
that.
is
Yeah, so
how many African Christians are unproductive. So the
yeah,
point that we're making is on the issue of time, the time that we're giving to meetings, these meetings,
activities, rituals. Yeah,
activities. They are looking at your day-to-day activities, how much of those meetings that you attend is adding tangible value into your life, into your business. Do you know that if you can even give some of that time that you give to those meetings into reading about, let's say you're
yeah,
running a business and you sign up for a course or a
yeah,
program, you're better off
yeah.
paying attention to that your course that is going to bring more value,
Value to
more
your business.
financial inputs or revenue into your business. But do you know that this is not what they teach us in church?
Yeah,
They will tell us that now they take your time
yeah,
and also take your money,
yeah,
and the time that you would have put into making more money,
yeah.
you lose
You
it.
lose it. Yeah,
So in the end, you're the one that is losing, and that's how you're gradually going down. That's how you're gradually becoming unproductive. I tell you, no matter what you think that you're making today, if your schedule is such that every day of your week you find yourself in
not just
church.
every day. If
eh,
say sometimes more than 3 days. I looked back when I was growing up,
yeah,
to look at how long we spent in religious activities. I remembered on Sundays because my mom was very fervent in religious activity.
yeah,
We would go for the Monday morning service, and
mm,
after that we'll go for afternoon program in another religious organization. So
yeah.
our Sunday was all booked up
And
from
a
morning
typical
till night.
A typical Anglican meeting there will
Yeah,
last from 3 hours to four
yeah.
hours
Sometimes even
sometimes.
longer. Yeah,
Because
and
I remember I used to leave the meetings. I
yeah,
remember there was a time I used to have issues with my parents then.
yeah, and
I would have to leave once sermon is over and they've done the offerings. I'm
yeah,
off, and that's usually around 12.
yeah,
And it was an issue with my parents then. They would say you don't wait till they share the grace. I'm like,
and all
sorry mommy,
that.
once I've taken the sermon and I've given my offering. In fact, I think the argument I was having with my parents there was that any service that it exceeds 1 hour is a waste of my time. And this was I
Imagine
was
you
in my
realize how important your time
I was in
was
my
at that
teenage
age.
ages then. It was a big
That's
deal.
great. That's
Yeah,
great.
it was a
That's
big
great.
issue, and we're always
That's
quarreling
great.
about it, but I wasn't going to be bullied into taking more of my time. But I don't know what now happened to me when I now started doing Pentecostalism. They twisted my brain back.
And you got
Yeah.
so in addition to spending the whole day on Sunday, we had Wednesday midweek service, and there was evangelism on Thursday,
Okay.
and on Saturday I think some people have rehearsals on Saturday. So you see how many days out of your 7 days of the week that is eaten up
Yeah.
by activities, and these activities you're not going to get value for them in future. You can't go for a job application and say, okay, I went, I've done,
I went to feed
I've
souls.
spent, I've fed souls. I've gone for evangelism for say 3 months of my life, or what, 3 years of my life. When you add up the hours you spend on those things. So
Yeah.
anything you do that you cannot get value from in future is a waste of your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So,
think enough on
and
that point. So we'll look at the second point, why many African Christians are not productive. We said we'll
yeah,
talk on the top point, cause and effect. Many African Christians don't look at cause and effect. Yeah.
yeah. So on cause and effects, it's just simple. Cause and effect is derived from Newton's law that an object will remain in constant state of rest
Mm-hmm.
until it is acted upon by another, a moving force.
Mm.
So it simply means that if you don't do anything, nothing happens. That's how
Yeah.
the law of life works. If you don't do anything, nothing happens.
Yeah,
You
but that's
know,
contrary
but
to
the
what we
but the
believe in.
biggest, shortchanging deception that religion brought to African
Is
mind,
that we should do
The
nothing
African
and
kind,
expect miracle to
that
happen.
people will do nothing and expect miracle to happen.
Yeah, and that's why a lot
And
of people are
you
not
don't know where the miracle,
getting
and
any
the funny
results.
thing, I try to demonstrate it to my friend and say, you know, they'll bring this bottle and keep it on the floor and tell you that nothing will happen and it will fall.
Okay.
And it's okay, watch, watch, watch. And there is a sudden wind that blows and the bottle falls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something happened. The wind blew, right?
All right.
But that wind will not always blow because you don't control the weather. It's outside your control. If you want to move that bottle, you have to move it with your hand. But they will use that testimony of accidental, unexplainable stuff and now confuse everybody. And many people, instead of using their hands to do
To
what they want to
what to
achieve,
do? They're
they'll
waiting
be
for the
waiting
wind to
for
blow.
magical, supernatural being to come and do something for them. So many people are not doing what they're supposed to do. Many people are not going out to look for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They are instead praying for themselves, for jobs to come to them. Many people are not going after their dreams. Many people are not going to get what they want to get. They are praying for the thing to happen to them. And that's not how life works. And that's why
Yeah.
many Africans are not productive.
Productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also on the part of cause and effect, I think a lot of people don't even reflect on their
Yeah.
lives to understand why things are happening to them. Why they are constantly doing the wrong things. I heard the story of, I think it was a guy who was working somewhere and he was very busy, his schedule, he was always doing so many things. And because he wasn't paying attention to his activities, the kind of activities he was involved in, he started losing access, so he started losing other opportunities that were important to him.
Yeah.
And do you know that that kind of person now will start looking for one spiritual reason to give himself? Maybe
Village
he's
people.
not, no.
Okay.
He might start saying things. Yeah, it's either he calls it yeah. They always, religious people always look for either what the devil did or
Yeah.
what God did. So yeah, village people on the part of
Yeah.
what the devil did,
too.
or they can say, oh, it's not the right time. Maybe God doesn't want it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But meanwhile, it's your disorganization. You didn't organize yourself. You
Yeah.
didn't look out for the things that you should be paying. You didn't pay attention to the things that you should be paying attention to. And because your time choked, you don't sit down to reflect on anything. You don't even know that because your life is moving like a wind. You didn't find time to sit down to look at how to organize your life better and what you should do right. You just keep moving and thinking that there are other opportunities coming your way. And I'm telling you, when you lose opportunities, they're not coming back, especially if you don't understand why you're losing them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the next thing is prophecies.
Yeah,
Believing in prophecies.
That's the
And
third
all
reason
that.
why
Yeah.
a lot of African religious people are unproductive.
Instead of working out your future, building the future you desire, people are going to someone to say, what does the future hold for me? Prophesy to my future. And someone says something and you now stop everything you're doing and start waiting for that thing to happen. Start expecting the stuff to happen. So many Christians have been, deceived, lives have been destroyed because they got into believing prophecies, prophets, and prayer warriors and all that, why should you go look for soothsayers to tell you the future when you can actually sit down, make a plan,
Mm-hmm.
set
And
goals,
start working towards it.
and start working towards it and achieve them? So
Yeah.
why do you have to do that? So because of many Africans are doing this, we're not productive. We're not
Yeah.
productive. These things we just said now, as simple as they may sound, when we talk to many Africans, we are from Nigeria, and there are lots of, Nigeria is a very religious country.
Hmm.
So we speak to people and they're struggling with unproductivity, they're struggling in their finances. By just talking to them, you understand that they are heavily involved in all these
All
things
these
we
things
talked
that we're
about.
talking about,
Their
yeah.
time, they are going to church. When you call them, you say, I'm going for one program, I'm going for that. You just smile. This is what is holding it down.
Yeah,
But they
this one
don't
is
know.
in a way.
But they don't even know. And after they will complain to you about lack of opportunity, no money,
How can
this,
you
that.
find
You
opportunity? I
cannot.
know when they blow up all those hours
Yeah,
in those meetings, they come
yeah,
back very tired.
tired.
You're going to sleep and all that. So that's how people are just
No
living
time,
their lives,
no
and
time to.
their lives are wasting away.
Yeah,
Like the value in their life is being eroded on a daily basis. So
yeah.
we'll call it a day today. Yeah, so what are
So,
your thoughts about what we've shared? We want to hear from you. What do you think about these things? So
so if this has been beneficial, like this, subscribe, and
share
share
share with
share
your
with your friends.
friends.
Yeah. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
bye.